So this video will show you what you should be counting for your dilution plates for lab. What is the yeast and what isn't? Because when I did the sample, I grew some bacteria colonies. They're the yellow ones along with the yeast. So it could be misleading if you don't know what you're counting. So here's my -1, 10 to the -2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you looked at the yellow colonies of bacteria, there doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason. The yeast is actually much clearer and harder to see. So let's see if I can get a good zoom, holding my phone with one hand. So all of these big white and yellow colonies, those are bacterial colonies. The yeast is the kind of filminess, the white film in the background. So the yeast colonies are not separated out at all. There are way too many to count. So TNTC, too numerous to count for this one. Again, ignoring the yellow and white colonies, just looking at that clear, very translucent, clearish film. That's the yeast. So now if you look at the 10 to the -2, you can see that we still have a film, but you're starting to see a little bit of separation of the colonies. Now this is still too numerous to count, but this really shows you that, you know, you're looking at very clear little speckles, colonies. Nothing yellow, nothing white, the translucent. So now as you go through each dilution, you should see that it's much easier for the 10 to the -3. You can see even more separate yeast colonies. Almost look like little stars in the night sky, I don't know. 10 to the -4. Now you could actually count these, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. Again, only count the yeast colonies. Don't count the bright yellows or white or these bigger egg-looking ones. Just the yeast. So it should give you a better idea now. Again, the yeast is lighter and harder to see. Only count those. This one is countable. And then the last one, they're so scattered that it, again, hopefully now you feel like you can tell the difference between the yeast. So yeast, that one would be yeast, that one would be yeast. That would be a bacteria. It's too yellow, although it's kind of on top of a yeast, so there's kind of two together. So you would count the yeast, but not the yellow for the bacteria. Two bacteria are yellow, a yeast, yeast, yeast on either side. So that shows you what you should be counting when you count the colony forming units only of the yeast on your dilution plates if you also happen to grow bacteria along with them.